Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Happy Sunday guys, thank you all the members, all the patrons, make sure to subscribe and let's get into it. We are trying to hit 50,000 subscribers until the end of the year, so help me out there. And let's talk a little bit about the J-35XS again. The best Draken in the game and an amazing aircraft, to be honest. The only sad part is that it's premium. I really hope that they add a version of this aircraft, or what I mean about this aircraft is the variant of the Draken, right? This is based in real life on the F2, if I'm not mistaken, which it was basically an exported F2 that was actually mounted in Finland. So the history behind this aircraft is actually pretty interesting. So yeah, hopefully they add a Tech 3 variant with it. And still another minor thing that I really wish they actually added is obviously the two little things. One of them is the R13M that the MiG-21 from the Finnish already has it. So this aircraft actually use that missile as well. And together with that, another minor thing, the AIM-4. Of course, it is a missile that it's not added yet for any aircraft, and it would be kind of bad, but it would give the Draken a radar capability, you know, a radar guided missile capability. So yeah, they really need to add it. It doesn't matter if it's a bad missile or not. If you use it in real life, you should get it. It's the same principle as the R-55, for example, with the late 60s Soviet aircraft, that all of them could use the R-55, which was basically an upgraded R2US, I think it was called. But still, it was a missile that it was basically a what they call like an A9D kind of situation. You know, it would have more range than the R3S and other stuff. And why we don't have that missile, I don't understand, right? But anyway, the Draken. So yeah, as I already did a video talking a little bit about it, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the tactics and how am I playing this thing. And actually, I can feel that they probably will add the J-35J, which would be very similar to this one for the Tech 3. So if this ever, if it is ever added, you know, you can use this line of thinking to actually use that thing. The Draken itself, it is an aircraft that it is very unique. You have to use it in a very unique way. What I mean about that is that even though it is probably one of the best aircraft in turning that you will see in the game, it has some problems. The main one is the compressibility at high speeds. It does feel like an F-16 if you've flown that. It is one of those aircraft that it gets to a certain speed and then it becomes a brick. So yeah, it has a problem with that. Also, I mean, what was that these guys doing? I mean, he just gave me the kill. That was really weird. But the aircraft itself, it does turn well, but you gotta be in a speed gap in the middle of like 800 kilometers per hour, 700. But the funny part about this is that it has two problems to get to those speeds. First of all, the air brakes. The air brakes are not that effective. The aircraft is very slick in the air, so it doesn't lose a lot of speed. And together with the poor air brakes, it's problematic. And also the air brakes, they tend to just kind of do like, how do I even explain this? It's if you open basically the air brakes, you cannot turn that well. It kind of loses the ability to actually turn. So it compresses a little bit more. So you are basically stuck trying to lose speed with the compressibility, and the air brake doesn't working very well and not being able to turn. So it is a problematic aircraft flying fast, you know. And the second thing is that this aircraft, it doesn't have a lot of fuel, but it's even basically the excuse, or not the excuse, like the proof that an aircraft in War Thunder, we kind of don't need external fuel tanks in these things. I'm normally not even using in the MiG-29 and in the F-16 because they are such a short map and such little maps that it doesn't matter. And another thing is that if you do, especially with this aircraft, if you do use a lot of the afterburner, it will happen, something very funny will happen. Normally, you will end up alone against many targets. Is it because it's a fast aircraft than anything else? No, it's actually because it is an aircraft that has a lot of slow aircraft together in the matchmaking. So you will notice that if you do use the afterburner and you go into the middle of the battle, you will end up having a lot of 5 versus 1 kind of situation. Similar to this one, but this one was more due to my team being dead. But still, you will be facing a lot of situations that you're going to face. You're going to be highly outnumbered. And my tactic with this, together with not flying high, because especially this aircraft specifically doesn't have an RWR, so I normally would choose to just basically try to fly low and don't use the afterburner. As you see, here's a perfect example of it. See how many enemies there are there? I mean, and this is even one of the matches that you have a lot of fighters with you. If you have a lot of A10s and A6s and F8s and all sorts of aircraft like that, you will be alone against a lot of aircraft. And it's, as I was saying, kind of the proof that you kind of doesn't need the external fuel tanks in this aircraft, because the map is so small, and at the start of the match there is basically no reason to actually use the afterburner. You're not trying to get to a position to get a good kill or anything like that. That was a poor shot. You know, it is just a matter of getting to a good position to surprise attack people. And if you do get into a dogfight, obviously the Draken is the best thing ever, as you see over here. So yeah, it's one of those aircraft that it is hard to learn how to use it. It has some things that you have to really consider, like tactics. Use your tactics. Try to maintain your speed high, but not too high. It compresses a lot. It doesn't have a lot of fuel. This particular version doesn't have 2 cannons, only 1, which is alright. I mean, it's still a 30mm. It's kind of a bad one. It's difficult to use sometimes, and it doesn't have a lot of ammo. But you do get a lot of kills with it if you pay attention. And you do have 6 missiles, which always help a lot. So it's an aircraft that it's a middle ground between being OP and not OP. I think with the addition of the 12.0 BR, this thing will be amazing. It will always face these down tiers, probably, or at least aircraft that are on its tier. And with that, it's going to be amazing. Another little problem that you have to consider is the lack of flares. I mean, 12 flares it saves you, but it's not like completely, you know, life-saving. You will have troubles with it. And be aware, try to use just the flare, the normal flares with 1 flare, because there's barely any radar missiles. And that's another reason to actually fly low. It's to avoid these radar missiles anyway, right? So yeah, but it is an amazing aircraft, but it is one of those that have a learning curve. It is similar to what a MiG-21 would be in that sense. You know, it is an amazing aircraft, but you do need to learn how to use it. You do need to learn how to use the cannon, the missiles, not a lot of flares and stuff. So yeah, it's an amazing aircraft, but it has some things about that. Is it worth it, the $70? I mean, if you have the $70 and you are trying to buy a premium aircraft, yes, it is. It is probably, for my sake, I think it's the second best, just second to the MiG-23ML. But beyond that, it's, you know, if you don't have the money, it's problematic. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, and I see you guys on the next one. Let me know in the comments